Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. It's an honor to be part of this amazing forum. It is, as a matter of fact, an important platform that discusses some of the most pressing challenges of sustainable development, as well as creating a tangible impact on world societies. As we all know that now we live under special circumstances as the COVID-19 outbreak has affected not just our health, but also our psychological and mental stability. Also, the economy, work, education, tourism, food security, institutions, you name it. This unexpected outbreak proved that we, as government and societies, are responsible to be more resilient in order to be able to deal with the situation at hand. This pandemic should be a lesson learned to integrate and adopt a more sustainable approach in our national plans and policies, and also give special attention for the vulnerable societies who were most affected. If we can all recall back in 2015, the world have been committed to achieving a sustainable development agenda for the year 2030. It was adopted at the high-level political forum in New York under the umbrella of the United Nations. This agenda focuses on three dimensions, of course, the social and environmental and economic in a balanced and integrated manner. Of course, this agenda gives a special attention to what we are going to discuss today, or highlight of sustainable societies. It is a universal agenda that calls for an action to end poverty, protect the planet, and improve the lives and prospects of everyone, everywhere. We have to realize something here, that in order for us to achieve this agenda, we have to realize that there is a strong commitment that comes with it toward global partnership and cooperation. So I'd like to take this opportunity to also highlight and re-emphasize our kingdom's commitment toward achieving this agenda, and also the significant role of collaboration and partnership to achieve prosperity and resilience at the national and global level. It is also important to highlight and understand the significant role of the local level, and by local level I mean the society and local communities. Therefore, we have to be able to create that enabling environment or ecosystem for societies to live in harmony with their surrounding environment, as it's the core of achieving sustainable development agenda. You know, when we look at sustainability at large, we always think about maybe back in the days we think about the environmental dimension. However, this concept has expanded, and we all have to come to the realization that in order for us to achieve sustainable development, we have to think about the needs that we need today without jeopardizing the needs of the future generation or societies. And this is why it is important that for us to build a sustainable society, we need to reach that delicate balance between those current needs and the future ones. This will give us maybe a little bit of understanding that for us to move forward and to transition into sustainable societies, we have to look at the bigger picture. We have to look at a holistic view. We have to understand the integration of that holistic view and the integration of that economic prosperity versus environmental protection and the social development that we require. And we have to understand the interlinkages between all these dimensions. We cannot have a sustainable society just based on what we might think a sustainable society based on the social dimension only, or the environmental dimension only, or the economic dimension only. There is definitely an integration and interlinkages here. So whatever challenges and solutions that we have to address in the future, and currently we have to address them in an integrated manner, and they have to be at different levels. They have to be at the local, at the regional, at the national level, and they have to be integrated as part of the policies and plans. And we have to make sure that this level of integration comes with transparency as well, you know, especially in implementing the solutions and providing equitable opportunity to every individual in the society, and creating the balance that we talked about earlier between the different dimensions, the social, the environmental, and the economic. Another dimension we have to also consider when it comes to sustainable development, and specifically sustainable societies, is the engagement of all levels of stakeholders. And by all levels of stakeholders, we're not talking only about government here. This is a responsibility for everyone. You know, it's about a responsibility for the government. It's a responsibility of the private sector. It's a responsibility of the NGOs. It's a responsibility of the local communities. It's a responsibility of the municipalities, the citizens themselves. This is a holistic approach that requires a holistic level of engagement, and we have to put the human at the center of this. And we need to deploy all the resources and utilize the science, the technology, in more efficient and eco-friendly manner in order to do so. And this maybe requires also heavy investment in strong and resilient infrastructure, as that remains one of the backbones of thriving communities. So to put that into context, building sustainable societies sometimes does not necessarily mean putting resources into something, but rather removing the harmful practices as well, you know, and this requires maybe building a strong foundation for our sustainable practices that leads us into living or a sustainable living. We talked earlier about the level of integration and the level of multi-stakeholder engagement. And this also leads us into ensuring there is a certain level of policy coherence for sustainable development, and building that trust between the society members, and also the between the society members and their government. Allow me now just to maybe highlight a little bit of the efforts that we are taking into place in the kingdom toward building a more sustainable, a more resilient future societies. We in the kingdom have been committed to achieve our Vision 2030, and we have set a strategic direction to build a thriving economy and a vibrant society and an ambitious nation. And this actually displays our obligation to improve the living standards, as well as directly contributing to the economic growth while driving healthier communities for citizens and long-term prosperity for all. Through our Vision 2030, we are aiming to improve the quality of life, not just among the vital sectors or the necessary or the basic services, but also to improve the individual lifestyle through cultural, environmental, and sport and entertainment activities. These dimensions are also important for the affairs of sustainable societies. We have seen evidently recently the importance of the culture and the environment when it comes to sustainable society. So it's not only based on the basic service, health and education and transportation and housing. These are all important dimensions, but we also have to think about the other dimensions to ensure that society will prosper and grow in a more sustainable and resilient way. So we aim, or our goal from that is to become a forerunner in realizing sustainable development globally, starting from our society. And given that our vision already aligns and is in harmony with the sustainable development goals, we are committed in our vision to create that vibrant society and creating that thriving economy through implementing different number of national programs, and national programs and initiatives to improve the people's lives. We have also launched in the kingdom through our vision several vision realization programs or what we call them VRPs, that can contribute directly toward achieving future sustainable societies, such as the quality of life program, the housing program, and the national transformation programs. All of these programs aim to contribute or to achieve our Vision 2030 while taking into consideration the dimension of well-being and sustainable societies at large. I don't want to take a lot of the time, but I'd like to take the time to remind us all of the lessons that we learned and we are currently learning from this pandemic. And the reason that we have to focus on what we are going through in this pandemic is because it has disrupted the way we are living, disrupted the way we are thinking about life, disrupted the way we think about businesses. And just like they said, this is the time for changing the business as usual. This is the time that we have to reflect and think about everything that we have been doing and whether we have been doing it the right way or not. So we have to remind ourselves about the future generation, about the needs that we need now in order to prosper and grow without compromising that for the future. We have to remind ourselves that sustainable societies are the resilient ones. That sustainable societies are the ones that put human well-being as the center of development while taking into consideration the impact of that well-being on the greater picture. We have to remind ourselves that sustainable societies are the ones that believe in empowerment, that sustainable societies are the responsible ones, and they are the ones that believe in leaving no one behind. And that for us is to achieve a future sustainable societies, we as global communities, and as this forum calls for, have to partner, have to collaborate, and learn from each other, and build that foundation for a better future for all. Thank you.